Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? We started this series, Gospel of Rock, with those musical questions by Mr. Don McLean from his song American Pie from back in 1970 or 71. He was referring to the early days of rock and roll. This band called the Monotones did this great song called The Book of Love. Well, I wonder, ba-dum-dum-dum, boom, who wrote the Book of Love? That also came out in 1958, like Johnny B. Good. And we were talking yesterday, the last one of these I talked about Johnny B. Good. And I was wondering whether Johnny B. Good came out before the death of Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper and Richie Valens. And it was, yes, it was the year before, 58. They died in early 1959. It's also interesting to think about, the death of rock and roll at the end of the 50s, and also the death of rock and roll at the end of the 60s, with the breakup of the Beatles, Charles Manson murders, and all sorts of other things that happened at the end of the 60s. And I think that's what Don McLean was getting at too. The Book of Love, not only is it one of the great musical questions ever, there's been many great musical questions, like what's love got to do with it, and does anybody really know what time it is, and you name it. We could talk about all the musical questions, and maybe we will do a video just on that. But this is such a cool song. This song began with, it was recorded in 1957, actually. And the lead singer of the group, the Monotones, Charles Patrick, he heard this Pepsodent toothpaste commercial with the jingle, "You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent." And then he came up with the line, "I wonder who wrote the Book of Love." And then he worked on the song with his bandmates, who were Warren Davis and George Malone. And the boom part, well, I wonder, do. Boom. That came from a kid kicking a ball against the garage while they were rehearsing. So they kept it because they thought it sounded good. It's really cool, actually. That happens a lot, I think. Recording music is like, something gets in there and it sounds good. It's like, wow. And then you can't imagine the song without it. So let's read the lyrics of this great song. This song actually did almost as well as Johnny B. Good. This song took off. It was actually re-recorded. They first recorded it on their Mascot label, and then Chess Records picked it up. Chess Records subsidiary Argo picked it up in February of 1958. It peaked at number 5 on the pop chart, number 3 on the R&B chart. So it was up there. Sha Na did a version of it, referencing Don McLean's American Pie. It's been used a lot, actually. American Graffiti, the movie American Graffiti, if you've ever seen that movie. It's been used a lot. It's one of those, it's like Johnny B. Good in many ways. but not as popular, but very well known. Let's read the lyrics. Who wrote the Book of Love? I'm sorry I didn't get this before. Lyrics. Wonder, wonder who wrote the Book of Love. The song is called the Book of Love, but sometimes it's called Who Wrote the Book of Love. There's a song by Peter, I think it's by Peter Gabriel, that is actually seems to be more popular than this one, called the Book of Love. Oh, who wrote the Book of Love? I've got to know the answer. Was it someone from above? You know. I love you, darling baby, you know I do, but I've got to see this Book of Love, find out why it's true. Chapter 1 says to love her, you love her with all your heart. Chapter 2, you tell her you're never, 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 never gonna part. Chapter 3, remember the meaning of romance. Chapter 4, you break up, but you give her just one more chance. You give her or you give it just one more chance. Oh, I wonder who wrote the Book of Love. So, it's a guy thinking about his relationship with his gal, and he he's reflecting on the chapters of the romance. First you get together. By chapter 3, you're already remembering the meaning of romance. Like, you have to remember it because you start to forget. By chapter 4, you break up, but you give it or give her just one more chance. Next verse, baby, 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 I love you, yes I do. Well, it says so in the Book of Love. Ours is the one that's true. So they get back together. They break up, but they get back together because it's true love. And even true love maybe has its moments. I wonder who wrote this Book of Love. In a way, it's talking about the monotones, talking about the mono, about the they're not monotonous. Talking, we have the words monotheism and monism, different theological positions about the nature of reality and nature of God, and you could go deep with this song if you wanted to, and maybe on some level that's what they intended with it. But maybe the song is it's simple, but it's not so. It's quite deep at the same time, almost childish, but rather deep, if you want to go there with it. It's a really cool song. It's really cool. It's cool that the vocal parts are really make it, and the three guys. It's rock and roll, but it's also doo-wop together. Doo-wop, rock and roll. Be interesting to look at the origin of doo-wop and how it coincided with rock and roll. And certainly doo-wop, yeah, I think we need to look at that. This is not really a series on musicology, the origins of these different forms, but might be nice to look at that a little bit too. Anyway, I didn't look into the foreigner thing. I will do that. Do I have anything more to say about Johnny Be Good? Well, again, it's interesting that these two songs came out in 1958, around the same time. And I look at this song as, for what we're doing, especially because we started with the Don McLean song, and we started with those musical questions that Don McLean asks in his song. We have to talk about this song. And, where did love come from? Who wrote the book? Where did it all come from? It's a great question. And I think, if anything, one of the magical things about the song is that it's about wonder and about questioning. And some of the greatest rock songs have used the words I wonder. There's a song, by the way, by Rodriguez, who is a if you ever saw the movie Searching for Sugarman. So Rodriguez on this album that got lost, he has a really cool song called I Wonder, which might be kind of a reference hearkening back to the doo-wop, and this song in particular, I wonder, wonder. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Hope it was interesting a little bit. Please leave a comment. Love to hear from you. And we're going to keep talking about some of these great songs. And hopefully it'll be, ones that you want to hear about. See you next time.